digital migration of his entity that is moving away from the cash presentation to that of digitization. However, given the fact that we have an upcoming election, midterm election, he is here to speak to the Liberian people with assurances, and I don't want to go into the detail. So I'll concede. Briefly, he will address you, the members of the press, and then I will come back up to take up the issue with regards to the national referendum and the electoral process. Thank you very much. Honorable McCauley.
Thank you, Minister. I'm not going to take much of their time, all protocol observed. I'm here to discuss two issues, and I'll be right and quick. The first thing is about the digitalization of the National Transit Authority. We will officially on Monday start using the platform. I was supposed to demonstrate today to the people of Liberia, showing them how the platform will be used in terms of purchasing tickets, in terms of doing your payment with your cards, in terms of everything, how the internet on the bus will be used. So I will be coming back to my good friend next week, Thursday, to demonstrate to the people of Liberia, to show them how the platform will be working in terms of moving from the old ticketing system to the new digital system. But we all know that we're in a season, election season. Next week we'll be having an election, and it's very important that the National Transit Authority assure the people of Liberia, since we're responsible for transportation throughout the country, we thought it was to come out and inform the people on that day how they would be able to get to places to carry on their birthright in terms of voting. Throughout the country, prices have been very exorbitant. Price from Monrovia to Grand Giga right now would cost you about $8,000. So we just want to encourage people, or Liberian dollars, we just want to encourage people that NC will be going that way. So if you were supposed to be voting in Grand Giga, we do it for a little like 25% of that amount to get you to Grand Giga. So we want to encourage people to get out to your various destinations where you will register on that day or the day before, or you can start tomorrow. It's affordable. NTA is here to get you to your destination to enable you to vote. We know that it's been pretty tough in terms of finances. Things haven't been okay, but like I said, prices NTA will be often will be very, very, very affordable. Another example I will tell you, going to Buchanan, it would cost you like with a taxi probably like $700. NTA we do it for $300. You know, so take advantage of NTA on the election day to get to your destination, because as much people as possible can be able to get to the various places to vote. It will be a great thing for the election on the 8th. We'll have a very high participation. So we encourage everybody to not stay home. Get out there on the day before, if the distance is too long, or 2 days before when you register. NT will be available, and most especially in Marshall County on that day. If you live across the bridge and probably you register in the Cumbertown area, there will be buses available for everybody to get there to their stations to vote. So this is why we came out here to be able to get the message across to the population, to the people of this country, to let them know that NTA will be there to transfer them on that day. Thank you all.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, you listen to the MD presentation. Do you have a question? For journalists.
Yeah, thanks so much, Honorable Director. My concern. Okay, sorry, MD, Managing Director. Okay, my concern had to do with the license you did here or the cross transport or agreement that was signed. I want to know how far or how well you effect is. Thanks so much.
All of that is pending with regards to the COVID. The governor of Sierra Leone have not opened the border yet. I think they said they're going to be opening the border in next year, March. So the only hold up that got us not operational right now in order to do it across country is the border. So once the border opens, immediately into will be cross the border to Freetown.
I'm Dennis Doe, ELBC Radio. Like you said, it's the transportation fare. You never come aboard and tell us from here to Sweden, you only say, I don't know, 25% of the Dutch. So the little man in the forest will not understand what you mean.
Well, during the rainy season, from a road that the surgery was $12,000. But as the road gets better right now, our learn is about, I think, $7,000, $8,000. And we doing it for $3,500. So that's almost like 50% or less than that. So if you're from Zendru, or you're from Grangeda, or you're from Maryland, or you're from Sino, take advantage of the opportunity. It's important. We want everybody to participate in this election. You know, let us have a very high turnout. NTA will convey you to your destination. If it is Bonny Hills, if it is Cape Mount, wherever on that day there will be availability of buses where you can catch and get to your destination to carry on the voting rights.
Thank you. Well, I think you heard right, and I don't think there's a debate on the subject matter as to whether there will be transportation available. I think that is already done. And the thing about it is, what we want our people to know is that set up. Again, all of this is meant to get a full participation in these elections, especially with regards to the referendum. We want to encourage people to really get out there, and I hope it stays there. Can suction it. Sorry, just a minute. Just focus something if you keep trying. Something like that, just lay it down. Okay. Something to brace it against. Thank you. All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, once again, thanks for coming. I'm here this morning specifically to bring to you the significance of the referendum and to explain to you the symbols on the various propositions. It's important that we do such because yesterday, a couple of days back, there are several individuals that have been saying all sorts of things in the media. One of which was yesterday from a political leader, unfortunately, who called on his supporters to, I prefer like a book or something like that, because this will not hold. Who said his supporters should not vote for the referendum. And as I listened to the likes of Mr. Kumis and Mr. Uri, I started to ponder and wonder, where have they been living? Where have they been? And I think it is very important that we begin to ask these questions, because they appeared to be foreigners in their own country. And I don't say this to denigrate them in any way, but if you follow the debate has always been, my people are not serious. I keep telling them that I want to lay this thing against something. That cannot lay. This thing needs to lay against something, is what I ask for. So if it's not big enough, then you just forget it. So it's like, I'm wondering, where have these people been? So let's follow up on the historicity of the referendum. This is not something that happened in 2019. And both Uri Cummings and former Vice President Bwaka were in this country. The most intriguing part, if you may, is that the very Vice President, under whose watch and leadership most of the proposition was born, is pretending like he never knew anything about it. It's sad for our country's history. It's very sad to me that somehow these people will behave the way they behave sometimes. Here is the debate from our friends in the opposition. They are calling on Liberians not to vote for the referendum on grounds that there was not enough voters' education, or, if you like, civic education. That is the singular reason they're giving. When asked whether the propositions are all good, our friends are saying they're not only good for Liberia, but they're excellently good. Thank you very much. All right? They're not saying the debate is it's beyond excellent. It is good for our country. But we're saying that there was not enough voters' education and or civic education done with regards to the referendum. You ask yourself, where have these people been? Mr. Cummings, Mr. Former Vice President Joseph Walker, calling on the supporters, do not vote for the referendum. How did we get here? How did this referendum come about? Did it come from President Dr. George Manawiya? No. It all started in 2014 when Honorable Joseph Walker was the then Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. Has he forgotten? That his government spent over $1 million United States dollars to commission the then former Justice Gloria Musu Scott to travel the length and breadth of our country, soliciting the views of Liberians on this very same referendum. It's been 6 years since 2014. Over $1 million spent to get this far. It will amaze any Liberian. It's beyond the comprehension of any Liberian that the very people during whose regime this was all born are now saying, don't take it. It's not good. Why was it good for them when they were in power? Why was it good then, but it's not good now? That is why I'm here to sharpen the debate. They did not have the political courage to put this through the legislature. And I will tell you why when I go through this. You will find out why they could not muster the courage to bring about this change, even though it originated from them for the most part. Today, the issue of dual citizenship was a no, don't touch it. Because many of them at the time carried 2 passports. But because they were given the opportunity at the time to serve, without the political muscle to stop them, they advanced the idea that it was okay. Today, President Ria mustered the courage to include it on the referendum. So this referendum did not just start today or this year. It started in 2014. Over $1 billion was spent with the glorious Scott Commission. And this was what the Liberian people said they wanted. But our friends from the CPP could not do what the Liberian people told them to do. So they waited for their son, His Excellency President Dr. George Manawiya, to do it. And yes, he has done it. And the Liberian people who asked for this are going to vote for it. Because they asked for it. And I'll give you the reasons why they asked for it. Today, exclusively on this referendum, let me be clear. We'll start with the referendum with respect to dual citizenship. Most of our friends, some of the lies or the fiction you've been hearing is that, oh, the Lebanese people coming from our country now, they will buy all our land. They will push us out of this place. Those who are dual citizens in the United States, the UK, the Canada, Germany, Asia, if you like, Europe for a whole, Americas, have they bought all the people in? No. Can they own houses there? Yes. Can they own properties there? Yes. Why should it be different for us? Why? So they go around saying, don't accept it. I'm happy the delegation from the United Liberians Association in the Americas, ULA, they're here. They support Proposition 1, and they support all of the stuff on the referendum, the propositions, for a reason. Because everybody supports it. And that's what the Liberian people want. But the truth of the matter is, a yes vote means you have agreed that a person, at least one of those parents was a citizen of Liberia at the time, or the person's birth, at least one, shall be a natural born citizen of Liberia. I went to America. Not by my own choosing. I was in Ghana, someone you know. We found our way there. Then we had children there. Ma Liberian, Pa Liberian, Grandpa Liberian, Grandma Liberian, Great-Grandma Liberian, Great-Grandfather Liberian. And you say that person cannot come here. And the land I leave behind for them, they can't have it because they're not citizens. What sort of selfishness is that? What sort of greediness? Greediness, gluttonous thought is that? The child mother is a Liberian. The father is a Liberian. Grandma, grandpa, Liberians. Great-grandma, great-grandpa, Liberians. Uncle, auntie, everybody, cousin, Liberians. But they cannot return home and be citizens. It continues. Such person does not have to reach the age of maturity, which is 18. To decide his or her citizenship. Our constitution says when our child is born, they must be 18 to decide Also from the day you born to 18, you're not Liberian. You come out, you multi-side Liberian. That tells you who wrote that kind of stuff. If you remember in the Bible, the story of Saul and the baby, and the two mothers. The other mother said, don't waste your time, king, cut that thing in half. The real mother said, it's okay, let her take the child. So the aliens and the foreigners that have somehow been manipulating our constitution does not feel what it means to have a child, both parents, Liberians, and deny that child from coming home to be citizens. But one man understands that, and that is His Excellency President Dr. George Manawia. And that is why he believes, like all the Liberian people, that dual citizenship is a must. So it says, such person does not have to reach the age of maturity, but shall qualify for elected, national, or public service positions and appointed positions, such as Justice of the Supreme Court, Cabinet and Deputy Ministers, Head of Autonomous Commissions, agencies, and non-academic research scientific institutions, ambassadors, extraordinary plenipotentiaries, and Chief and Deputy Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia. When you go forward, it tells you, prior to that, you can't even try it. But the very Liberians were celebrating 3 Liberians that got elected to Congress for Colorado. One in me, stand to be corrected. The people who left from here went to school at congressional seats in the United States. Yes. But the very person who went to Cathedral, graduated, was born here, went to Cathedral, won congressional seat in America because of that citizenship. Even though they were born here, they cannot be citizens. They can't hold offices here. That was what our friends, the manipulators of our constitution, wrote. Well, here is what our friends want you to know, that is fictional. That the new dual citizenship proposition is not good for people in America. Why? Because you will have citizenship, you will own property, but they can't appoint you, you can't get elected. That is a flagrant lie. It says that if you want to be president here, or a big elected position, when you come with the American passport and the Liberian passport, you got to put the American passport down. You got to put the Canadian passport down. Put the Japanese passport down. And then you can run. You think our Liberian people who selling billables were not thinking? They were thinking and they learned fast. Who knows the story of Ellie Cochran? Who heard the story of Josh Johnson, Marvin or Melvin Johnson? The moment they said, oh, you people committed a crime for which you must face justice, they pulled out the book, then got the plane and they ran away. So our people said that if you want to lead us, put one book down. So that when you steal our money, you can't say Acadian, or Japanese. You will face the full weight of the law. Because when you take the oath of office, you will swear to uphold, protect, and defend the Constitution. When it was time for Ellie Cochran and others to uphold, protect, and defend the Constitution, which calls for free, fair, and impartial justice, they pick up the other book and absconded. So the issue of dual citizenship is a non-issue. So we put it to our friends, which one of you in the opposition do not want dual citizenship? They said, well, in Amba, we all want it, but the timing. Every single minute, you deny a Liberian by birth their birthright to own land, property, every single minute is important and should be accepted as a denial. Therefore, if the time is not now, the question then is when.
Yes.
So our friend said, well, if you put it that way, okay, you're correct. But then you didn't do enough to educate the people. Who is supposed to educate the people? All of us who believe in it and say it's good and it's correct, we have a responsibility to call the other people and say it is good for our nation. You call yourself political leaders and you say it's not good. The timing is not right. And they ask you, are you talking about dual citizenship? No. We're saying the timing is wrong. You guys are citizens. Many of you got American passports. I recall Honorable Alexander Cummings saying, well, I carry an American passport. We have the audio and the video. But still he ran in our elections. So why the other people who carry American passport don't have the right to be here too? I put that question squarely to Mr. Cummings. So that argument that we did not do voters registration, voters education, and civic education falls flat on its face. Here is the last reason why. It is fictional for something to be 6 years old. Started off in 2014 by the very Liberian people. And today, for 6 years now, you're suggesting that people don't know enough. When it was the very people who said they want it. How can you want something that you don't know about? We close on that note of the argument by saying, our friends do not believe in dual citizenship because most of them are academically bankrupt. And they fear that the new breed of Liberians arriving from the diaspora, having been educated and enlightened on what life has to present, and knowing fully well that they can change the trajectory of our politics, our friends are in deep fear because many of them will return, drop the passport, and contest against our friends who have agreed that they have wasted resources and they have kept the Liberian people enslaved to poverty. So for you, the Liberian people listening to me, you will see one place get 2 passports, the other place get 1 passport. When you see the place with the 2 passports, it means your children were coming back with a lot of paper. And you say, Mommy, citizen, you must vote yes. So they can come back home. So the land where you get for them, you can give to them. The house where you pay for them, you can give to them. The farm where you pay for them, it can be for them. When you see 2 vote, vote yes. Proposition 2. You know the argument of our friends. Not enough education is their argument. The time is not right. But we have a choice. The Liberian people 6 years ago said that we don't want to be going to vote rainy season. That's when in the dry season. Our friends who are very wealthy, they are rich people. Baga was vice president for 12 years. He rich. Ure was the custodian of Liberia's maritime funds. He's rich. He's the guy from Blue Star. Cummings, everybody saying he's rich. So they can afford Land Cruiser Jeeps to go through the muddy roads. Guys, they're everywhere. They're free to go. They got Land Cruisers. But the people who really want to serve the country cannot afford Land Cruiser Jeeps. So that is a disadvantage. So 6 years ago, the Liberian people said, look, let everybody be equal. We want to have system. The old lady said that when it really happened, all my joint can be here to me. No way for me to go vote. Let me get to our system. Our friends are saying no. So the question again is, why do you want our people to not have access to the rural areas during the rainy season? Why do you want our elderly people to vote in the rain? When was the last time 3 years you had to walk 6 miles in the rain? When was the last time Kumi's family had to walk for 4 miles to get anything, let alone from one village to another village or the big town? The Liberian people said they don't want to be voting in rainy season. They want the voting to be in dry season. Who's against that? Our friends. To you, the Liberian people listening to my voice, you will see one, the sun shining. The other one, the envelope is raining. If you want to vote the rain, you take the envelope. But if you don't want to vote the rain again, and you want the road to be good drastically, take the sun. I repeat, tell the sun. Say yes to the sun. I want vote in dry season. If they had let me go for something else. We move from there, come to proposition 3. Every time we have election in this country, so now you can take 30 days to judge one small case, to file small complaint. Small case, so we are in a technological world. Send an email, finish. They say, oh, if you vote yes to amend Article 38C to reduce the time for National Election Commission to hear and decide complaints, take the big clerk. Take the big clerk. Because instead of 30 days to hear smoothie, one, take 2 weeks and tell over happy. Finish. Don't go take 30 days. It can bring noise. So when you go there, when you see the big clock, that you will take. But while our friends want long time, you got to pass around and mango. Because they're rich guys. That is not going to happen. Now we come to the reduction of the term of the office of the president and vice president. The fiction is very simple. All the men want to run for 3rd term. That's why you do the thing now. Then you ask them, hold it. If they're good to reduce the term, they say yes. So why are you afraid? No, the men will run for 3rd term. Is that why you're afraid? Yes. Listen to them talking yesterday. This is the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. The fiction is the man want to run for 2 terms. Here is the fact. See Article 50. Article 50. That's why I gave you the facts. They come with the fiction. English is clear. I've said repeatedly that most of my friends on the other side, they say, oh, most of them don't take the time to read. And if they do, they don't read with comprehension. They have an issue. Article 50 of the Liberian Constitution, Chapter 6, the executive. The executive power, I'm reading, of the Republic shall be vested in the President, who shall be head of state, head of government, and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia. The president shall be elected by universal adult suffrage of registered voters in the republic, and shall hold office for a term of 6 years, commencing at noon on the third working Monday in January of the year immediately following the elections, period. I highlighted the one I come and read to the Liberian people in Article 50. The last sentence. No person shall serve as president for more than 2 terms. It didn't say no party. It didn't say no group. It said person. And President Weah is a what? Person. Therefore, no president can what? No person can serve as president for more than 2 terms. How is it that this person, after 2 terms, this person will go for a third term? You're the journalist. You guys are the watchdog of society. I've given you the picture, and you have listened to the fact. No person, Mr. McCauley said to you, this person has no intention of a third term. But our friends don't want to read the law. The same way they can lie every day, they want to lie every day. It's not possible. Why should one man be president or one woman be president for 12 years? Or even 6? If you're not working, you need to get out. Therefore, to the people listening to me, you will see the big chair and you will see the small chair. The small chair means don't stay there for 12 years, stay there for 10. I want the small chair. Vote yes for the small chair. Now, the same applies. The president will come with the vice president. So 2 of them will go together. They will not stay. I know you wonder, people, when Ellie move on there, Joseph Baraza, you want right again, he was vice president. So yeah, you have the right. But for president, I read it to you. You saw it with your own eye. No person that one human being, no person shall serve as president for more than 2 terms. No person that human being. Senators, you know, our friends, sometimes they don't do the right thing. Why would one person be senator for 9 years? Even if you're not performing the Pokemon win. Why? If you see the big chair, they won't stay there for 9 years. Vote yes to the small chair. Anywhere you see big chair, move on it, they won't stay there long. Anywhere you see small chair, vote yes. Senator, why you want to stay there 9 years? Why? If you work inside the post, forced to be with you for 9 years. Part of the argument we're having today, the people say, Senator, they don't deliver in 1 year. And he asking them for 9 years. That is left to the voters. But you see, they have a choice now. They can decide whether they want him for 9 years, or the fact that he did not perform, he should go home. So they want to reduce it from 9 years to 7 years. The same goes for representatives. They want to reduce it from 6 years to 5 years. What's wrong with that? The pro tem from 6 years to 5 years. Remember, the pro tem is normally a senator. So he will be there in the Senate for his 7 years. But he can be pro tem for what? 5 years. When you see a small chair, One man say now, one play too long, no problem. Too long, get complacent, don't even want to do work. Let's look at the other one. Same thing with the speaker. And then the speaker. From 6 to 5 years. What it says for our democratic arrangement, when the president take over, he will be there for 5 years. He would, try to make things happen to have a speaker and a protest. When they move from there, don't get a lot of water. Take the small chair. The last one is not the last one. What I have to say to Liberia is very simple. Our friends, all of them said the propositions are all good. But we should wait for 2023 for it to be on the ballot. If something is good, right now, all my friends that are talking on Facebook and regular, in Ghana, in Asia, in Canada, I got 5,000 US for each one of them. But I wanted to wait for 2023 before they get it. You know what I was saying? My man, I agree with you, man. What a problem. Why is something good for you when you want to wait? If President Weah had waited, there would not be new markets constructed in his first term than any other president in their first term has done. If he had waited, Liberians would not be taking pay while they stay at home for 7 months. Oh, don't call the people money. Harmonization. Today, everybody's good. Roads are being constructed. If President Weah had waited, Liberia would not have 2 wires and have a high passing rate. We should have waited for 2023 to build the military hospital, to bring in 50 NTA buses, 5 brand new fire trucks, to build LPRC corporate headquarters, NPA, the new NSA headquarters. President Weah should have waited for 2023. When it comes to the development of our country, President Weah will not wait. Here is the interesting part as I close. Our friends who want you to wait, it will interest you to note they will be beyond what we call septuagenarians. Europe right now is around 63. 12 years from now, it will be 75. After getting an exuberant and youthful president as President Weah, at age 50, having done all these things from street leg to whatever, you're at 75, you will be our president. Really? So now, they don't want that to happen. Because they will be too old. They'll be 75. I said it. The same applies for Kumis. You'll be 75. Let's go to Honorable Barker. He will be 88, almost 90 years old. Should we wait? I'll give you another word. A youthful generation, exuberant, farsighted, who will subscribe to gerontocracy, meaning an order of leadership by old people. The chances of development will be slim. So I call on our friends. If you say this is good, the timing should not matter. The education must be done by all of us. And that is what we're doing. That is what we'll continue to do. I will take my share of the question. So when the team, the chairman from the dual citizenship committee in the United States, they're here reinforcing and supporting, can come on and do their part. If there's any questions for me, I'd like to take it fast.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, do you have questions for